You know, sometimes life has a way of bringing us exactly where we need to be, even when we think we're lost. Pauses and looks around the room. I want you to close your eyes for a moment. Think about that dream you've been carrying around, that quiet whisper in your heart that keeps you awake at night, that thing you'd do if you knew you couldn't fail. Got it. Hold on to that feeling. Now, let me tell you something. That dream isn't there by accident. That fire burning inside you, it's not just some random thought. It's your purpose calling out to you. And today, right here, right now, we're going to talk about why answering that call might be the most important decision you'll ever make. You see, I've spent years watching people, successful ones, struggling ones, and everyone in between. And you know what the real difference is? It's not talent, it's not luck, it's not who they know or where they came from. The real difference is what they choose to focus on every single day of their lives. Some folks spend their whole lives looking through other people's windows, wondering why their house doesn't look the same. They're so busy watching others live their dreams that they forget to build their own. But let me tell you something. Your life isn't waiting in somebody else's window. Your life, your purpose, your destiny, it's all inside you right now, waiting to be unleashed. The world we're living in right now, it's noisy. Everybody's got an opinion about what you should do, who you should be, how you should live. Social media is showing you highlight reels of other people's lives, making you question your own journey. But here's the truth. The only person who needs to believe in your dream is you. Now, I'm not talking about some feel-good, wishful thinking type of belief. I'm talking about that deep down, bone-deep conviction that makes you get up when life knocks you down. That kind of belief that keeps you going when everyone else has gone home. That's the kind of belief that transforms lives. You see, focusing on yourself isn't selfish. It's necessary. It's like what they tell you on airplanes. Put your own oxygen mask on first before helping others. Why? Because you can't pour from an empty cup. You can't give what you don't have. You can't lead where you haven't gone. Every single person in this room has a gift, something unique, something special, something that only you can bring to this world. But here's the thing, that gift, it's like a muscle. If you don't use it, if you don't develop it, if you don't focus on it, it stays dormant, and the world misses out on what only you can give. Let me break this down for you. When you start focusing on yourself, really focusing on your growth, your dreams, your development, three things happen. First, you start seeing yourself differently. You stop being the person who's waiting for permission to live. You become the person who gives themselves permission to be great. Second, you start attracting different opportunities. Why? Because you're operating at a different frequency. You're not just dreaming anymore, you're becoming. And the universe has a way of responding to that kind of authentic transformation. Third, and this is the big one, you start inspiring others without even trying. Your journey becomes a light for someone else. Your courage gives others permission to be courageous. Your growth creates a ripple effect but let me be real with you, and this journey isn't easy. If it was, everybody would be living their dreams right now. This journey will test you. It will challenge everything you think you know about yourself. There will be days when doubt creeps in like a thief in the night, trying to steal your dreams. Those are the days when you need to remember why you started. Those are the days when you need to dig deep and remind yourself that your dream isn't just about you. It's about the lives you're meant to touch, the change you're meant to create, the legacy. I remember when I was starting out, there were plenty of people who had opinions about my dreams. They had all kinds of reasons why I should play it safe, why I should settle for less, why I should be realistic. But here's what I learned. Being realistic is the most commonly traveled road to mediocrity. Your dreams aren't supposed to fit into someone else's version of reality. Your dreams are supposed to create a new reality. They're supposed to push boundaries. They're supposed to make people uncomfortable. Why? Because that's how change happens. That's how progress is made. That's how lives are transformed. But here's the key. You've got to be willing to bet on yourself. You've got to be willing to invest in yourself. Time, energy, resources, whatever it takes. Because if you won't invest in your dreams, why should anyone else? Think about it. Every great achievement in human history started with someone who was crazy enough to believe they could do something different. Something better, something that hadn't been done before, They weren't special. They weren't chosen. They just decided. They decided that their dream was worth pursuing. They decided that their potential was worth exploring. They decided that their gift was worth developing. And that's what I'm asking you to do today. I'm asking you to decide, not tomorrow, not next week, not when the conditions are perfect, right now. In this moment, decide that your dreams are worth pursuing. Decide that your potential is worth exploring. Decide that your gift is, because here's the truth. The world needs what you have. The world needs your perspective. The world needs your passion. The world needs your purpose. But more than that, you need to become who you were meant to be. Not for the applause, not for the recognition, not for the rewards, but for the simple satisfaction of knowing that you had the courage to answer the call of your dreams. You know what's interesting about success? It leaves clues. And one of the biggest clues I've discovered is this successful people guard their time like it's the most precious resource they have, because it is. Think about it. Money, you can always make more of it. Relationships, you can build new ones. Opportunities, they come and go. But time, once it's gone forever. You can't bank it. You can't borrow it. You can't buy more of it. All you can do is use it wisely or waste it. And let me tell you something. Most people are wasting it. They're wasting it on things that don't matter. They're wasting it on people who don't deserve it. They're wasting it on activities that don't move them closer to their dreams. But when you start focusing on yourself, really focusing on your growth, you start looking at time differently. You start asking yourself different questions. Instead of what do I feel like doing, you start asking what needs to be done. Instead of who can help me, you start asking who can I become? This shift. It's subtle, but it's powerful, because it moves you from being a passenger in your life to being the driver, from being reactive to being proactive, from being a victim of circumstances to being the architect of your destiny. Now, I'm going to share something with you that might make some folks uncomfortable. Ready? You've got to be selfish about your growth. Yes, you heard me right. Selfish. Not in a way that hurts others, but in a way that honors your purpose. Because here's the truth. Nobody else is going to prioritize your dreams. Nobody else is going to prioritize your growth. Nobody else is going to prioritize your development. That's your job. And if you don't do it, it won't get done. You got to be willing to say no to good things so you can say yes to great things. You've got to be willing to disappoint some people so you can honor your purpose. You've got to be willing to be misunderstood temporarily so you can become undeniable permanently. And let me tell you something about this journey of focusing on yourself. It's not linear. It's not neat. It's not predictable. Some days you'll feel like you're flying, like everything's clicking, like you're unstoppable. Other days you'll feel like you're crawling through mud, like nothing's working, like maybe you should just give up. But here's what I want you to remember on those tough days. Struggle is not your enemy. Struggle is your trainer. It's building muscles you're going to need later. It's developing character you're going to need later. It's creating testimony you're going to use later. Every time you push through when you feel like giving up, every time you keep going when you feel like stopping, every time you choose growth over comfort, you're not just building your future, you're building yourself. And that's what this journey is really about. Be building yourself. Because success isn't just about what you achieve, it's about who you become in the process. It's about the person you have to become to handle the blessing that's coming your way. Let me tell you something about dreams. They have a price tag. And that price isn't just money, it's dedication, it's discipline, it's determination, it's being willing to do what others won't do so you can live like others can't live. It's getting up early when you want to sleep in. It's studying when others are partying. It's saving when others are spending. It's working on your craft when others are watching TV. It's investing in yourself when others are investing in distractions. But here's the beautiful thing about paying that price. It compounds. Every investment you make in yourself, every hour you spend developing your skills, every moment you dedicate to your growth, it all adds up. And one day, seemingly out of nowhere, opportunities start showing up. Doors start opening. Things start happening, but it's not really out of nowhere. It's the compound interest of all those investments you made in yourself. It's the harvest of all those seeds you planted. It's the return on all those deposits you made in your personal growth bank. And let me tell you something else about this journey. It's not just about you. Yes, you've got to focus on yourself. Yes, you've got to prioritize your growth. Yes, you've got to pursue your dreams. But the ultimate purpose of all this growth, all this development, all this transformation, it's so you can be of greater service to others. Because when you grow, you have more to give. When you develop, you have more to share. When you transform, you have more to contribute. Your growth becomes a gift not just to yourself, but to everyone around you. Think about it. When you become better, everyone in your life benefits. Your family gets a better version of you. Your friends get a better version of you. Your community gets a better version of you. The world gets a better version of you. That's why this journey of focusing on yourself and pursuing your dreams is so important. It's not just about personal achievement. It's about expanding your capacity to make a difference. It's about increasing your ability to impact lives. It's about enlarging your potential to create positive change. And here's something else I want you to understand. This journey never ends. There's no finish line. There's no point where you arrive and say, that's it. I'm done growing. As long as you're breathing, there's room for growth. As long as you're living, there's room for improvement. As long as you're here, there's room for transformation. But let me tell you something about growth. It requires honesty. Brutal honesty, the kind of honesty that might make you uncomfortable at first. Because you've got to be willing to look at yourself in the mirror and see not just who you are, but who you've been. You've got to be willing to confront your excuses. You've got to be willing to face your fears. You've got to be willing to acknowledge your limitations, not so they can define you, but so you can transcend them. And this is where most people stop. This is where most people turn back, because the truth can be uncomfortable. The truth can be inconvenient. The truth can be challenging, but the truth is also liberating. The truth is also empowering. The truth is also transformative. You want to know what's holding most people back? It's not their circumstances. It's not their background. It's not their education. It's their story, the story they tell themselves about why they can't. The story they tell themselves about why it's too late. The story they tell themselves about why they're not enough. But here's what I want you to understand. That story, it's just that, a story. And the beautiful thing about stories is that you can change them, you can rewrite them, you can create a new narrative. But to create a new narrative, you've got to be willing to let go of the old one. You've got to be willing to let go of the excuses. You've got to be willing to let go of the limitations. You've got to be willing to let go of the comfort of familiarity. Because growth happens outside your comfort zone. Transformation happens outside your comfort zone. Magic happens outside your comfort zone. Think about a butterfly. For it to transform, it has to be willing to give up being a caterpillar. It has to be willing to enter the darkness of the cocoon. It has to be willing to go through the struggle of transformation. And that's what this journey of focusing on yourself requires, the willingness to let go of who you've been so you can become who you're meant to be. Now, let me share something powerful with you. Your potential is not determined by your past. Your future is not limited by your failures. Your destiny is not defined by your difficulties. Every day, you get to choose again. Every morning, you get to start fresh. Every moment, you get to decide who you're going to be and what you're going to do with the time you have. But here's the key. You've got to be intentional about it. Success doesn't happen by accident. Growth doesn't happen by chance. Transformation doesn't happen randomly. You've got to have a plan. You've got to have a strategy. You've got to have a system. Because hope is not a strategy. Wishful thinking is not a plan. Good intentions are not enough. You need to know where you're going, and you need to know how you're going to get there. You need to have clear goals, and you need to have specific actions that will move you toward those goals. But more than that, you need to have the right mindset, because your mindset is like the soil in which you plant your dreams. If the soil isn't right, it doesn't matter how good the seeds are, they won't grow. So let me talk to you about mindset for a minute. The right mindset isn't about positive thinking, although that's part of it. The right mindset is about productive thinking. It's about solution-focused thinking. It's about growth-oriented thinking. It's about seeing obstacles as opportunities. It's about, seeing problems as possibilities. It's about seeing challenges as chances to grow. And here's something crucial about mindset. It's not just about what you think, it's about what you do consistently. because your actions speak louder than your affirmations. Your habits speak louder than your hopes. Your behavior speaks louder than your beliefs. That's why focusing on yourself isn't just about setting goals. It's about developing the daily habits that will make those goals inevitable. It's about creating the daily practices that will transform your potential into performance. Think about it. Every major achievement in your life will be the result of small actions taken consistently over time. Every breakthrough will be the result of small steps taken faithfully day after day. It's not about making radical changes overnight. It's about making small improvements consistently. It's about getting one better every day. Because those small improvements, those tiny gains, they compound over time. And here's the thing about compound growth. It's not linear. It's exponential, which means for a long time it might seem like nothing is happening, but if you stay consistent, if you stay committed, if you stay focused, suddenly everything starts happening. But you've got to trust the process. You've got to trust your journey. You've got to trust that your daily disciplines are depositing success in your future, because success is not an event. It's a process. Growth is not an event. It's a process. Transformation is not an event. And the key to any process is consistency, not perfection. Consistency. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to be persistent. You don't have to get it right every time. You just have to get it right over time. And let me tell you something about persistence. It's not just about keeping going. It's about keeping growing. It's about learning from every experience. It's about extracting wisdom from every situation. It's about getting better through every challenge. Because here's the truth, that failure is not fatal. Failure is feedback. Every failure is an opportunity to learn. Every setback is a setup for a comeback. Every obstacle is an opportunity for growth. But you've got to be willing to learn. You've got to be willing to adapt. You've got to be willing to adjust your approach based on what life is teaching you. And sometimes the hardest lessons come from our biggest failures. But those are often the lessons that transform us the most. Those are the lessons that shape our character. Those are the lessons that prepare us for our destiny. Let me share something powerful with you. Your greatest growth often comes from your greatest challenges. Your biggest breakthroughs often come after your biggest breakdowns. Your finest moments often come after your darkest hours. But you've got to stay in the game. You've got to keep showing up. You've got to keep pushing forward even when you can't see the end result. Because success is not about avoiding failure. It's about refusing to be defined by failure. It's about getting back up one more time than you fall down. It's about learning to fail forward. And here's something else about failure. It's temporary. It's not permanent unless you quit. Every successful person you admire has failed their way to success. They just didn't stop at failure. They didn't let failure have the last word. They understood something crucial, that failure is an event, not a person. Failure is something that happens to you, not something that defines you. Failure is a moment in your story, not the end of your story. But to understand this, you've got to have perspective. You've got to be able to see beyond your current circumstances. You've got to be able to see beyond your current challenges. You've got to be able to see beyond your current limitations. That's why having a vision is so important. Your vision has to be bigger than your current circumstances. Your vision has to be stronger than your current challenges. Your vision has to be clearer than your current confusion, because your vision will pull you through your valleys. Your vision will carry you through your challenges. Your vision will sustain you through your struggles. But here's the key. Your vision has to be yours. Not your parents' vision for you. Not society's vision for you. Not your friend's vision for you. Your vision, something that resonates with your soul, something that aligns with your purpose, something that ignites your passion. And when you find that vision, when you connect with that purpose, when you align with that passion, something magical happens. Your energy changes. Your focus sharpens. Your determination deepens. Suddenly, obstacles that seemed insurmountable become challenges to overcome. Problems that seemed impossible become puzzles to solve. Difficulties that seemed overwhelming become opportunities to grow. Because when you're pursuing your authentic vision, when you're following your true purpose, when you're living your genuine passion, you tap into a power that's bigger than your problems. You connect with a strength that's greater than your struggles. You access a wisdom that's deeper than your worries. But this kind of authentic living requires courage. It requires the courage to be different. It requires the courage to stand out. It requires the courage to go against the grain, because most people won't understand your vision. Most people won't support your dreams. Most people won't encourage your growth. And that's okay. They don't have to understand. They don't have to support. They don't have to encourage. Because this journey of focusing on yourself and pursuing your dreams, it's not about them. It's about you. It's about becoming who you were meant to be. It's about fulfilling your potential. It's about living your purpose. And let me tell you something about purpose. It's bigger than profit. It's deeper than success. It's more meaningful than achievement. Your purpose is your reason for being. Your purpose is your contribution to the world. Your purpose is your legacy. That's why focusing on yourself isn't selfish. It's essential. Because when you focus on becoming the best version of yourself, when you focus on developing your gifts, when you focus on living your purpose, you become a gift to the world. You become an inspiration to others. You become a light in the darkness. You become a force for positive change. But it all starts with focusing on yourself. It all starts with investing in yourself. It all starts with believing in yourself. And here's something powerful about belief. It's not just about thinking you can. It's about knowing you must. It's not just about having faith in your abilities. It's about having faith in your purpose. It's not just about believing in your potential. It's about believing in your destiny, because destiny isn't something that happens to you. It's something that happens through you. It's not something you wait for. It's something you work toward. It's not something you find. It's something you create. And you create it one decision at a time, one action at a time, one day at a time, through the choices you make, through the habits you develop, through the person you become. That's why every day matters. Every choice counts. Every action adds up. Because you're not just doing things, you're becoming someone. You're not just passing time. You're building your future. You're not just living your life. You're creating your legacy. And let me tell you something about legacy. It's not about what you leave behind. It's about who you leave behind. It's about the lives you touch. It's about the people you inspire. It's about the difference you make. Think about that for a moment. Every time you choose growth over comfort, every time you choose development over distraction, every time you choose purpose over popularity, you're not just changing your life. You're changing the lives of everyone you'll ever influence, because your growth creates a ripple effect. Your transformation triggers transformations in others. Your courage inspires courage in others. Your success seeds success in others. That's why focusing on yourself and pursuing your dreams isn't just about personal achievement. It's about collective elevation. It's about raising the bar, not just for yourself, but for everyone around you. It's about showing others what's possible when you dare to believe in yourself and your dreams. But here's what I want you to remember. This journey isn't a sprint. It's a marathon. And in a marathon, pace matters, rhythm matters, sustainability matters. You've got to learn to celebrate your progress, not just your achievements. You've got to learn to appreciate your growth, not just your goals. You've got to learn to value your journey, not just your destination. Because the truth is, there is no final destination. There's no point where you arrive and say, that's it, I'm done growing. There's always another level. There's always another challenge. There's always another opportunity for growth. And that's the beauty of it. That's the adventure of it. That's the excitement of it. Every day brings new opportunities to grow. Every challenge brings new opportunities to learn. Every setback brings new opportunities to strengthen your character. But you got to stay hungry. You got to stay curious. You got to stay committed to your growth. Because the moment you stop growing is the moment you start dying. The moment you stop learning is the moment you start declining. The moment you stop dreaming is the moment you start settling. And you weren't born to settle. You weren't created to be average. You weren't designed to play small. You were born to grow. You were created to excel. You were designed to make a difference. So I want you to make me a promise right now. Promise yourself that from this day forward, you're going to take your dreams seriously. Promise yourself that from this day forward, you're going to invest in your growth consistently. Promise yourself that from this day forward, you're going to live with purpose intentionally, because your dreams matter. Your growth matters. Your purpose matters. You matter. And the world needs what you have. The world needs who you are. The world needs what only you can bring. So don't wait for permission. Don't wait for perfect conditions. Don't wait for someone else to believe in you. Start now. Start where you are. Start with what you have. Focus on yourself, not because you're selfish, but because you're serious about making a difference. Pursue your dreams not because you're greedy, but because you're committed to giving your best to the world. Invest in your growth not because you're self-centered, but because you're purpose-driven. Remember, every great achievement started with a decision. Every great transformation started with a choice. Every great journey started with a single step. And your journey, it starts now. Your transformation, it starts now. Your legacy, it starts now. So step into your power. Step into your purpose. Step into your potential. Because the world is waiting for what you have to offer. The world is waiting for who you're becoming. The world is waiting for the difference only you can make. And when you look back on this moment years from now, you'll realize that this wasn't just another motivational speech. This was your turning point. This was your moment of decision. This was when everything changed. Because you decided to focus on yourself. You decided to pursue your dreams. You decided to become who you were meant to be. And that decision, that's going to change everything. That decision is going to transform not just your life, but the lives of countless others. That decision is going to create a legacy that will outlive you. So go forth and make it happen. Go forth and make your mark. Go forth and make your difference. Because your time is now. Your moment is now. Your destiny is calling. And all that's left is for you to answer that call. Thank you.